Hello and welcome to my shop. My name is Tracy Maxfield and this is Hammer Down Woodworking. Today we're going to be building something just a little bit out of the ordinary. It's called a cop caddy. It's what a law enforcement officer has at home. At the end of his shift, he can come in and hang his vest on it and his duty belt and all, put all his gear on the shelves and stuff. And it also has a locking box in the middle of it where they can secure the weapon. And now that we got our lumber all milled up, let's glue up our panels and get this piece started. This piece is going to be 12 inches deep, so all the pieces are cut to exactly 12 inches. And later on I'll be cutting an additional 1/4 inch off of all the inside pieces and putting a 1/4 inch rabbet in the outside pieces to accept a 1/4 inch panel. Now that all the pieces are cut down to their final width, let's cut them down to the final length. And on the two outside edges, I'll add a small curve just to soften it up some. And here I'm adding some through or stopped dovetail tracks. I did a video on this. I'll put a link in the description if you haven't saw that explains more in detail about what I'm doing here. But this whole carcass of this cop caddy is held together with through or stopped dovetail joinery. If you hadn't done it already, I'd like to invite you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring the bell also, and that way you'll get notifications of future videos that come out. I sure would appreciate it. Now, using these sliding stopped dovetail joinery on this, you have to really kind of get you a game plan together on how you're going to put it together, because if you get out of order on them and start gluing them up and you don't put the right pieces in first, it will prevent you from being able to get your other pieces in. Now here I'm cutting that additional 1/4 inch off that I was talking about, and here I'm cutting that rabbet for the back panel. It's a 1/4 inch sheet of maple plywood. And then everything is sanded down. I pre-stained everything and then started, we stained this a dark walnut and it come out looking real good, I thought. And of course I put a water-based polyurethane in it. And using Type Bond 3, I got all my pieces laid out like I needed them in order to get them together and not block myself out of being able to get a piece in, and started the glue up process. And each piece just slides in. Then I added a shop-made bracket, corner bracket, to keep these squared up. If you notice on top of that, I pre-taped a caul to that so I wouldn't have to hold so many pieces at one time when I'm doing the assembly. And there's those 90 braces that I was talking about. Now on this piece, I had two dovetails going in at the same time. And if you let the piece that's going down get the least little bit sideways on you, it will jam up. So just be prepared for that if you ever do these sliding. Now it's time to cut that back panel down. This is 1/4 inch maple plywood. And I just cut that off with a tool saw and then cleaned it up with a block plane. And I had to make a lid, the front compartment, the concealed compartment of this. I had to make one to be able to make one. I used pine, some cheap scrap material, and made a lid and put it on here, and then actually made up my panels. And here I'm cutting the brackets that's going to support these two panels that are glued together at a 9, which makes this the top and the front of this compartment. And it takes one to make one. Then everything is rounded over to soften it up, just not on the back side where it joins the actual panel. Then I pre-drill and countersink holes in to screw and glue this piece in. And actually when I put it in, I failed to record that part. But this lid is going to have a piano hinge that it operates on. And to line that up, I just slide that in and then flip the hinge over and mark my holes. But before I actually attach that, it's time to go back and fasten this 1/4 inch sheet plywood into the back of this. And then each hole for that piano hinge is marked by drilling all the way through with a small drill bit. And this French cleat board is going to go in the back of that. That's going to be serving 2 purposes. One, to hang the cabinet by, because it's wall mount. And then the other is to have a place to mount the hinge. Of course, I just cut that out with a router, getting it down to the depth of the thickness of the hinge, and then trim up what little excess is left with a chisel. Then I countersink and pre-drill my screw locations where this is going to mount onto the back of the cabinet. And once that's all mounted down, it's time to attach the hinge from the inside. It's going to go through that 1/4 inch piece of plywood, through the hinge into that brace on the back. Then I mark the location for the hydraulic arm that's going to actually hold this lid up when you raise it up. Clamping a scrap piece of wood on the back, I drilled those out to receive my carriage bolts. And this was done also on the inside of the bottom of the cabinet itself in the location where I needed it for this hydraulic arm. And this is actually a 10 or 11 pound hydraulic arm with or 15 inches in length. And I also added a radio frequency type power lock to this cabinet also. Now it's time to mount the pipes that's going to be put in the bottom of this. This is what the owner will actually hang his vest and duty belt and all that stuff on. There's going to be 2 4-inch pipes on each side of the center one, which is 2 arms that comes out. You'll see here in just a second that you can actually hang your vest on. There it is. Then I went back and pre-stained and stained this lid. and it also got, it's 2, maybe 3 coats of water-based polyurethane on it. And that will do it for this one. Appreciate you stopping by. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you don't care, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and give me a like if you enjoyed the video. And until next time, thanks for watching.